Now you know what it is. This is how they doing it. This is how they doing it. Internal polling shows Michigan Benson with mighty lead in Democratic hunt. Gubernatorial race, gubernatorial hunt. Now she was the Secretary of State for Michigan. I I don't understand the importance of having a Secretary of State. I don't really get it. Outside of that, she's closer into politics with what happens federally. Um, I don't really get it. Like she has statistics that don't really matter. Um, as far as what people do on a statewide level, as it concerns labor issues and also civil rights issues. Um, I don't really get like for her to be, and I'm finna take this somewhere real quick. I'm finna take this somewhere real quick. For her to be in the lead for Michigan's governor race after we just had almost, I'm not sure what was it, like 8 years? 8 years of Gretchen Whitmer. And you know what? I'm not really mad because it's like we have a black judge. But again, you have people who live in communities who, whenever their rights are affected, they don't know how to. Their first instinct is to grab a weapon. They're not thinking that I can get this through district court, and if it fails, I can get this through appeals court. They're not thinking that. They're thinking grab a weapon. But you see, they finna put her in the Michigan governor race, and she's probably gonna win because I would have thought it would have been between John James and Garland Gilchrist. But you can see they're about to put her up there so she can win. Now look at what they're doing in Africa. Look at what they're doing. Now I'm not sure if he's Kenyan, Sudanese. I'm not sure, but okay, he may be Ugandan. But you can see right here his English. His English is very good. I just want to point something out. People are not understanding something. Africa is decades ahead of America. And the reason I say that is because their people are into science, agriculture, and technology. You see? Look at where they're taking this. Every time I look up and I'm on my LinkedIn, I see them holding forums. They're holding speaking engagements. They're engaging their society. They're engaging their youth. They're engaging their public. They're engaging their elders. All right? This is our cousins on the other side of the world. Look at what they're doing. EU, Youth Peace and Security Coalition. Look at what they're doing. Look at how it looks out there. Detroit doesn't look like this. Detroit doesn't look like this. I think that's Dubai. But you can see their people travel. Now, this may be Africa, right? There's a lot of forestry. This may be Africa. I'm not sure. But a lot of the stuff that pop up on my feed are people who are in Africa. You see what I mean? Look at their people. Their people are healthy. They have the right seeds that they're eating from their foods. They have seeds that germinate and make plants and make food crops that don't cause obesity. All from the solution that they're using to plant the seed. Meaning they have good labs. They have extraordinary labs. Look at this. Now, where's this at? Okay, somewhere in Africa. Probably Kenya. I would not be surprised if that was Kenya. You see what I mean? Like, look at, these are young people. Strathmore University. These are young people. They're shaping their future. So everybody is talking about Jocelyn Benson is probably going to be the next governor of Michigan. Do you trust Jocelyn Benson as as governor, to lead you in a way that Africa is leading its own people? Do you trust her? No, you do not. Look at how their people live on these type of landscapes. This is forestry right here. This is forestry. If you come to our communities, we're not taking care of the landscape. We're not taking care of the roads. We're not taking care of the soil. Right now, there's an argument in Detroit right now about some of the soil being contaminated, and it's leading to a Flint crisis that's been repeated within the last 10 years. As far as the water concerns that's happening out there, Detroit is having a soil crisis. Look at how they're living on this soil. Just look at that. Just look at it. You see what I mean? Every time I pop up on my feed, I'm seeing new people every time. New people standing in groups, holding speaking engagements about what's going on. There's a lady on here from Ghana. She likes my posts all the time about what's happening as far as with the emergency situation. Because every time I look up, I have to share something because there's someone getting shot. There's someone being wheeled into a hospital. There's a disturbance, and she always likes those type of posts. So she can tell her people back in Ghana what's happening here on the soil of the United States. Thrive Africa Vegan Restaurant Week. Even Africa is into veganism. And I had to go back on that because I said that we should be vegan. I don't think you should be vegan your entire life. I just found that out. And the reason I say that is because what happens when you're vegan is that if you have what is that called? Look at this. Look at this. This is true farming. This is true farming. But if you have the sickle cell trait, this means that your O blood is more adapted to eating meat as opposed to just eating vegetables, say fruit, and not meat. Meaning you have to eat meat. And I always thought all along that, you're supposed to just eat fruit and vegetables. I always used to think that. And I still don't fully understand the sickle cell trait, be given the fact that, killing something and having to eat it, that's pretty gruesome, especially something that has eyes and a heart. But this is how God made us. We're supposed to eat fish. We're supposed to eat chicken. We're supposed to eat the beef. And if you go back to how we used to live, right, hunter gatherer, over the ages, we actually live like that. We actually live like that, right? Where we had to eat that way. And it's people in South Africa who still lives like that. It's people all across Africa who still lives like that, where they hunt and gather. You see what I mean? Like, look at this. Their people are all over. Their people are all over. You see what I mean? They're learning how to fix vegan plates. The young people. And you got adults, right, in America who can't even fry chicken properly or fry fish properly. We can't even do it because we weren't taught. All we know is meal preps and, like, warming food up in a microwave. That's all we know. We don't actually know how to prepare food. I love the idea of going back to Africa. And the reason I just did this is because I see, like, right now, right? I see, like, right now, we are lost when it comes to what's happening in Africa. We're lost. We think that America is ahead. America is not ahead of Africa. I'm telling you that right now. Look at their young people. Their young people are in the labor unions. Their young people are in the labor unions. Our young people are not in the labor unions. Look at this. Look at the backdrop. Look at the clothes. Look at their hygiene. Their hygiene is perfect. You see what I mean? And they have a diverse slate of living styles. They have nomadic. They have, as we just saw, bureaucratic. Okay? They have homesteading. Look at this. Nah, this is somebody else. Um, yeah, they have homesteading too, but you can see they have bureaucratic. So they're just not nomadic as people like to make them seem, right? But they're also, as you can see right here, they're bureaucratic. And they're always posting their certificates that they have. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. I know a lot of people like to challenge the validity of it, but you gotta respect the fact that they find value in showing their accomplishments. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can go a day on just showing this stuff. Like, there's so much happening in Africa right now, as opposed to a place like Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. There's so much happening in Kenya, Nairobi. There's so much happening in Cote d'Ivoire. There's so much happening in Togo. There's so much happening in these places. Where's this at? This is in Africa. And it's people who live in these hillsides. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ethiopia is beautiful. And I watched a later episode just happen right now with Walter Maya, and he was showing, like, how they live out there in Ethiopia. They live beautifully out there. Beautifully. Like, one of my favorite places that I want to visit soon is Kenya. That's where I want to visit. I want to visit Kenya. People is missing out on Kenya, man. Like every year, I make sure I buy African coinage, and I'm talking about the silver. Like this one, I bought a Ghanaian silver patent. I can claim that on my taxes, and I can slate the value at whatever return that I want because it's actual lawful money. I can slate the value higher than what I bought or higher than what I sold it as, and get the money back, which I've already done. I think in 2024, I only claim like in 2024, and I'm kind of mad that I did that, but I only claim like I think 20 like 2,000, and that's how much the IRS gave me back, $2,000. I only claimed $2,000 in donations when I could have claimed more. So we can do our taxes next month that's coming in, and I need people to know that. Like, do your taxes next month. Don't don't be afraid, and because you weren't taught how to do taxes. So you need to start learning how to do that now. You know what I mean? This is why our communities look so messed up. Africans understand how to take advantage of the system. They understand it. See, this is an African woman, you know? She's in Chicago. This is Metro. It's the train station, I think. Yeah, this Union Station. I'd have been in Union Station a couple times. And they got the tree up, you know? So these are well-traveled people. My entire network is of people from Africa, male and female. Everybody is from Africa on my network. When people outside of the community try to send me invites, I always ignore them. Always ignore them. Because it's time for Africa to come together. Like, what are we waiting on? All the xenophobia, it happens on both sides. I noticed that because a lot of Africans, they don't want Americans around either. But most Africans, they're not like that. You may have a few who just like, they don't want anything to do with Americans. But the best of us, right? We want a lot to do with each other. Now look at this environment, right? You'll say it's nothing happening here. But look at the environment. They have trees. They have a nice homestead. This is just a simple village. This is a village you go to when you know you don't have to work as hard. You don't have to do a lot of work. You're just working. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about cops. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about people from other communities coming into your community. Just simple, simple life. Look at this. Like, look at this. Africa got all the farmers. They have all the farmers, man. Oh my God. You see what I mean? So this is how we're going to end this off, right? Again, this is how Africa looks. You can see right here the designs in the back. You can see all their people out there, right? All their people. They're dressed down to a T. They have no hygienic problems. They have no behavioral problems because everybody looks alike. When everybody looks alike, if we know throughout history, just living in America, when everybody looks alike, you do not have behavioral problems. Only time you have problems behaviorally is when people have invited the idea of colorism, meaning everything has to be opposite of what's doing well. Everything has to be the opposite of what is faring well. Everything has to be the opposite of what's doing right, of what's getting along, of what's doing what it has to do. Um, Man, I'm not looking forward to this Michigan governor race because I think they're going to give it to Jocelyn Benson, and that's just a need for them to escape. You know what I mean? That's just like, look at how they finna do that. They finna get the Detroit. They gave the Detroit mayor race to a person with the Iranian background, right? She's Iranian, right? Um, with a little bit of black in there, maybe. You know what I mean? But she's like she's black and Iranian. And the Michigan governor, they're about to be inserting feminism and genderism. You know what I mean? So what can you do about that? You can't do anything about it. You just got to roll with the punches. So the state politic and the city politics is about to be ran by women. You know what I mean? And it's women from different communities who we're on the agenda for Africanism, right? We're on that agenda. We're trying to get Garland Gilchrist in there. But it's too late. I don't know if he's gonna get the push, you know, because he's the blackest one of everybody. So if like we're really serious about what we're trying to do with Africa, we would make sure that he wins. We will make sure that we go out and vote. You know what I mean? But, a lot of people, they have a different of opinion. They want to do their own thing. You know what I mean? They're not really looking at the future of this state. They're not really looking at the future of world geopolitical politics. They're not really looking at it that way. You know what I mean? They're just kind of doing their own thing. You see? We're serious about this, man. We're very serious about this. I've been on LinkedIn for a while now, and I can say it's the best website I've ever signed up to. As far as people who are serious in trying to get things done, it's the best website. It's the best website I've signed up to. Great piece, Yakoki.